Good evening. Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Good
Yeah,
evening.
hope you can all hear me from wherever you are. Yeah, so let us start. So feel welcome for today's session. So yesterday we introduced Power BI and we were doing installation of Power BI. So for now, as of now, I hope you've managed to install Power BI on your laptop. Yeah, so anyone who hasn't installed, kindly let me know because I want us to move together. Yeah, it seems like everyone has managed to install, so we'll just continue. So yesterday we covered a bit theory regarding Power BI, and we say that it is a business intelligence tool that is majorly used for data visualization in order to derive insights from the data. So I want you just to open your Power BI so that we go through the Power BI interface. I know we went through it yesterday, but majority of you had not installed the software. So we'll go through the Power BI interface so that we are familiar with the interface itself before we can even start using it to visualize our data. Yeah, simply open your Power BI. Desktop. Yeah, so hope you are seeing my screen from your end, right? So this is basically the Power BI desktop interface. So where on the home ribbon, in the ribbon, you can see we have various tabs. We have the file, home, insert, modeling, view, optimize, and help. Just like in, these are the tabs that you normally see in any Microsoft products like Excel, Microsoft Word, etc., PowerPoint, and so on. So we went through each tab on the ribbon. So whereby we say the file tab enables you to do common operations such as saving your data or saving your report, sharing your report, importing and exporting data. So apart from the file tab, we had the home tab. So this is very important, the home tab. So beneath it, you can see we have various other tabs. For instance, we have the get data tab, which is used to import data from various sources. So hope you see when I click on this tab, the get data tab, you can see it highlights various data sources that we can import data from. So for instance, your data can be in an Excel workbook. So you can choose that option. If your data, for instance, is in a server, like for instance, SQL server, you can choose that. And then if it's in the web or any other data source. So we have many data sources that you can import data from. So you can see here we have the option for more. So When I click on more, you can see all the data sources that you can import data from, right? There are plethora of data sources that you can import data from. So that is the get data tab. And then we have the Excel workbook. So Excel workbook enables you to import data from Excel. So whether you're having your data on your machine saved as in form of an Excel workbook, you will be able to import that file or that data. So we have the SQL server, which enables you to import data from the SQL. Then we have the transform data tab. So the transform data tab allows you to manipulate data. For instance, you might want to create new fields. You might want maybe to change the data format and so on. So with that, you'll be using the transform data tab. And then we have the visual tab. This is for adding new visual. So it complements the visualization penned visuals. So it's a form of a shortcut of adding new visual to your report. We have text box for adding text to your visualization. So we'll interact more with these tabs once we start analyzing the data. Then at the middle here, you see the canvas. So currently I haven't added any data. That's why you see it's telling me add data to your report. So if you want to add new data, you'll see a blank canvas here, whereby I'll be able to build my visuals. So to the far right is the visualization pane. So as you can see in the visualization pane, we are having different types of visuals that you can choose from when you are building your charts or your dashboard. Yeah. So to the far right, you can see you have the data tab. So if we import data into Power BI, so under the data tab, you will be able to see the data that you've been imported. Currently, you see it's blank. It's telling me you haven't loaded any data yet. So if I want to load data, I can simply click get data and import data into Power BI. So beside that, we are having the format tab. So the format tab, I said yesterday, it's used to format your visual or to format your report or dashboard, right? And then to the left, we are having three tabs. So to the left, to the top left, we are having these three tabs, whereby we are having the report view tab, the table view, and the model view. So the report view, this is where you build your visualization. And then the table view, so this contains the data that you've just imported or loaded into Power BI. So, and model view, this is used to create relationships among tables. So for instance, maybe you can be having two tables that you've loaded into Power BI. And what you want to do is create or connect these two tables together. So normally this happens when you have a common field between the two tables. So with that, you can join the two tables together So you can use the concept of joining. So by doing that, you'll be able to create the relationship between the two tables. And by doing that, you'll be able to use the data from the two tables. Yeah, so that's all about the Power BI desktop interface. Yeah. So, and yesterday I said on the status bar you are having page tabs whereby you can add several pages. So when you want to add maybe a new page, you simply click on the plus tab, and you'll be able to add a new page to your report. Yeah, so that's all about Power BI desktop interface. Yeah, so let us try loading data into Power BI and see the process of loading it. So you can get data or you can load data in Power BI in different ways. So one of the way is using the Get Data tab on the ribbon, on the home ribbon. You can use the Get Data tab. And then the other option is, for instance, if you have a common source like SQL, Excel, and so on, you can get that data by simply clicking on this option: import data from Excel, import data from SQL Server. Or you can simply click on get data from another source. So that is the second way of getting data into Power BI. So another option is this option here. So assuming that you haven't loaded any data into Power BI, so you can simply click on this option, get data, and you'll have to select the data source where your data is for you to be able to load it into Power BI. Yeah, so those are the various ways of getting data into Power BI. So let us use this first option. We connect to a data source. So let us connect to a data source that we had last time. We had an Excel data. So let us, for instance, connect to the sample superstore data that we used in W. So select Excel workbook. So after doing that, go to sample superstore data, click on open. So hope we are moving together. So when you click on get data, you will be prompted to select the data source where you want to import that data from. And then when you select, it will start the connection process. So it takes some time, but it's loading from my end. Yes. And you've chosen Excel workbook. Yes.
Excel file, yeah. Microsoft.ace.olled.12.0 when it's not registered on the local machine.
That's strange. Yes, I can hear you. Though from my side it's loading. Or maybe you can share your screen. I see. We see whether we can solve it. All of you are getting this same error. Yes. Okay. Let me see. Yes, I can be able to see it. Okay, cancel. Cancel.
Done.
Okay, go to get data. Yes, get data.
Okay.
No, no, we have that tab for getting data. You see, go to the home tab. Yes, yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, let me share the data again. Because from the error that it's being displayed on your machine, it seems it's a system issue.
So you're sharing.
No, just on WhatsApp.
Okay.
So I'm sharing. Yes, check on the group whether you can find it. So it's taking time to send. So let me share my screen. So, or alternatively, if you are having the HR data, let us try also loading the HR data. See if it will work out. Try loading the HR data. Is it working? So that is the navigator tab. Yeah, so click on load. So what you do when you click on load data, or when you click on get data, so you normally get what is called the navigator window, right? So the navigator window is that window. Uh, yes. So make sure you select the data that you want to load. You might be having like 2 or 3 tables. So make sure you check on one of the yeah, and then click on load. Yeah, you can. Okay, share your screen. Where you? Yes. Yeah. Joseph, uh, yeah, share your screen. Yeah, so make sure, so the navigator window, you can see you are having the HR data folder, isn't it? Can you see the HR folder? Yes, so you can see it has, yeah, it has two tables. It has two tables. So make sure you select one of the tables. You see we have a box beside each table. Yes, make sure that it is checked. Yeah. Then beneath you'll see you have three tabs. That is the tab for loading, uh, transform data, and cancel. Yeah, like that. Yeah, so that's it. You can stop presenting. Yeah, stop sharing. So you went to get data, Excel workbook, HR data, click on open. So whenever you connect to any data source in Power BI, it will bring you this navigator window. So what navigator window does, it gives you a preview of the data that you want to import. Yeah, whether you are importing it from SQL server, from a text file, or from whichever source, be it from also from a web, the procedure is still the same. So it will bring you the navigator window, whereby in the navigator window, you will be prompted to have a view of your data. So you will also see the number of tables that are there in your data set. So if you're having two tables in your dataset, or you're having two sheets in your dataset, it will be displayed under the display options, right? So in our case here, we are having data which is on our machine, or on our desktop, for instance. We are having a folder that has the HR data. Yeah, but inside that table, or that folder, we are having two tables. We have table 1 and we have the HR data table. So currently on the navigator, we can not see the preview of our data, simply because we haven't selected the table or that has data that we wish to load. So I'll simply select on this table that has the HR data, and it will give me the preview of the data that I have, right? So in the preview window, so if the data that we want to load, maybe we want to do some modification, we want to do some data cleanup, right? We want to change the data format and so on. We can do it under the transform data tab. So if our data, for instance, if it is clean, we don't have to do any sort of manipulation, we simply click on load if we are certain that our data is in the right format. But if the data isn't in the right format, we have to go with the second option whereby we have to transform it, right? So if we want to transform that data, we click on the transform tab. So once we've done that, it will open another window, which is called the Power Query window. So this is what is called the Power Query Editor window. And what Power Query Editor window does, it enables you to transform your data. It enables you to modify and also clean your data, right? So currently this is called, yes, Rebecca, I see your hand is up.
Please repeat what you did. Yes, please repeat what you
Okay. Supposing you are importing data, so you go to Excel workbook, right? HR data, click on open that data. So this is the navigator window. Go to select this table. This is the HR data. So instead of loading, you click on the transform data tab. So in the navigator window, hope you can see on your bottom right, we are having three tabs, one for load, the other one for transform data, and then we have one for cancel. So you click on transform data. If at all you need to clean your data or you want to modify your data, right? Click on transform data. So when you click on transform data, it will now open this window, and this window is referred to as the Power Query Editor window. Hope you've heard of Power Query from Excel, right? So this is what is called the Power Query Editor window. So, and from Power Query, this is where you do your transformation, right? So let us now see the interface of the Power Query Editor window. So this is where all your manipulations are done. So as you can see, we've loaded the HR data and we want to transform it. So if in case we want to transform, so on your left, you can see we have the left pane where you are having the queries. So all maybe all sort of manipulation that you've done, they'll appear on your left under queries. For instance, you can see I've loaded two data set. I've loaded the HR data twice. You can see it's telling me I've loaded two queries, right? So any other manipulation that I do, for instance, maybe I load another data set, it will appear on my left pane and the number of queries will be 3, right? Then Let's examine what is on the home ribbon. So you can see on the home ribbon, you have this tab for close and apply. For instance, let's say we've made changes in our dataset, and once we've done those changes, we are certain that whatever we've done is right, and we want to apply the changes now to the data. So we'll simply click on close and apply, right? So we have also this tab for adding a new data source. So when I click on it, I'll be able to add data from a different or from another data source. We have this option, this tab for showing recent data sources. So if there are any data sources that I've used recently, when I go to this tab, I'll be able to see those data sources. For instance, when I click on it, you can see the recent data sources is HR data source, and we also have the sample superstore data. So we have also the tab for entering data, right? So if I want to enter data manually, I simply come and click on this, and I can be able to enter the data. And then we have data source settings. When you want to manage your source data, you choose this, you click on the data source setting tabs. When you want to refresh your data sources, simply click on this. When you want to add new columns to your data, when you want to remove new columns to your data, you select on these tabs, right? So don't worry as of now, because we'll go in detail about how the uses of these different tabs that you are seeing here on the home ribbon, right? But right now, I want you just to get familiar with the interface of the Power Query editor. Yeah, so for now, the data is in the right form. Let us simply load it. So we'll simply click on close and apply. Click on close and apply. So once we've made the changes, now you load that data into Power BI. So you can see immediately we've loaded that data. It brings us to the report view tab, right? And when you look at the top right here, you can see we've loaded the two data sets. So I'll get rid of one because they are duplicate. Yeah. So we are having HR data here, right? So we can see the fields that are there. Expand all. Yeah, so these are the various fields that are there in our HR data, right? So that is the report view. So when you go to the table view, you can be able to see that data. Yeah, so this is the data that we've loaded into Power BI. right? So now, given that we've loaded now the data Power BI, it's now time to see how you can build visuals using this data. So building visuals is quite simple in Power BI. So for instance, yes, Rebecca, you've raised your hand.
Excuse me.
What that you say it's time to upload data? We imported the data.
Yeah.
There's something, then you say design to import. They upload the data, so it was not ready for use before.
Yeah, hope you saw. For instance, in the navigator window, I said we have two options: either to load that data directly into Power BI or to transform it first before we can load it, right? So we went with the option of transforming it. So I wanted you to know the steps of transforming your data, whereby when we chose the option for transforming data, it took us to the Power Query editor window, right? So in the Power Query, that is where now you do your data cleaning, do your data manipulation. So after you've done that, you click on close and apply, right? So you can access the Power Query also from this tab. This is what I was talking about. This is what is called the Power Query editor window. So assuming that our data was dirty, or assuming that our data was not in the right format, so the option that we could take is to transform that data. And how can we be able to do that? We can be able to do that by using the Power Query editor. So it is a tool that enables us to format and shape our data, right? So once you are done with your transformation, you will click on close and apply in order to apply the changes that you've just made to that data. And by clicking close and apply, you will make those changes and you will be loading that data into Power BI. That's what I said. Click on close and apply. Hope you are okay, Rebecca.
Yes, yes.
I hope also the rest you've understood. Yes.
So these changes include maybe removing outliers or formatting or such kinds.
Yes, and we'll cover that in our next
Oh,
classes. Yeah. So right now what I'm aiming at is you to know how we build visuals in Power BI. So the data that we are loading currently is clean. That's why we did not do some transformation. But we'll explore, for instance, we'll load data that is not in the right format, data that needs transformation, that needs cleaning, so that we can understand the step of data transformation. Yeah. So for now, let us know how we can just build visuals in Power BI. So assuming now we've loaded this data, and yes, so this tab here, have you opened first, which option did you choose? Transform data, isn't it?
No, it's now that option is not active.
So
Can I share?
make sure make sure so make sure on the navigator you check that box for the HR table. Yeah. Yes. I don't know what was the problem with this global superstore data. It wasn't loading. So, but I look into it. Maybe the data is not in the right file extension. But from my end, it's loading. So after you've loaded there, hope you chose the option for loading, Maureen.
It was Elizabeth.
Oh, sorry,
I chose the
sorry. Yeah, Elizabeth.
I chose the option of data.
Yes. So if you chose that option, simply go to the home tab and click on close and apply. We haven't made any changes. We haven't transformed anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Simply
Thank you. Mhm.
close and apply, and it will take you to the report view tab, and you'll be able to see a canvas that appears just like this.
Yeah.
So how do we build visuals in Power BI? So once you've loaded data, you can be able to build your visualization. For instance, by simply selecting, for instance, maybe you want to do a pie chart. You simply come to the visualization pane and click on a pie chart, right? So hope you can see what's happening in the canvas. So you can see just a great visualization with nothing in it. So that means we haven't added fields into uh, into this visual for us to be able to visualize it. So let's, for instance, say we want to examine maybe the marital status of our employees. So we want to know the distribution. So let me take, for instance, so I've simply took marital status into the legends, and you can see we have three groups: divorced, married, and single. So let me take employee number to the values. So in this data, employee number is a unique identifier. It identifies each employee uniquely. So that's why I've taken employee number to the values section. So you have to drag your variables into the relevant fields. And these fields are just beneath the visualization pane. So this is the visualization pane. Beneath it, we have sections for different fields. For instance, we've just visualized. Yes, someone has raised a hand. I am Fred. Sorry, I'm Fred.
Before we go very far, I got lost where we in visualization, and then you went to the pie chart, and then I don't know where you get the marital status from.
Okay. You can simply, so you are having this blank pie chart, isn't it? Right? So
I don't have blank ones. I can see the pie chart, and on the
yeah, so we have the yes, you are having someone kindly to mute. So you chose the pie chart, isn't it? Yeah. So for you to get now the fields, you can see under data I'm having different fields. For instance, age, attrition, business travel, and so on. The all fields that we have in that data set, right? Can you see the fields from your end? These fields, for instance, education level, employee number, attrition, age. Can you be able to see those fields from your end? So simply go to that table, the HR data table, hover around it, and you'll see three dots. When you hover around the three dots, it will indicate more options, right?
okay.
Click on it and then scroll to the bottom where you have expand all, right?
Okay. Yes.
And by doing that, you'll be able to see all fields that are there in that data. Yeah. So let us now build visual by dragging these variables into relevant fields. So the fields are just beneath the visualization pane. So I had chosen marital status, for instance. So take marital status to the legend, and then employee number, to the values. Stella, you still have a question? Your hand is up. Stella, I can see your hand is up.
Sorry. So the network issue.
So this is now the pie chart that we've managed to build. So let me increase its size so that you can be able to see it. Right? So this is the pie chart showing the marital status of employees. So we can see that most people are married. So that is 45.78% of the employees are married. And then followed by those who are single, that's 31.97%. And then we have those who are divorced. They account for 22.24% of the total number of employees that we have in this company, right? So I think the idea of building visuals is simply the same, simply dragging, selecting a visualization in the visualization pane, and then dragging fields or dragging variable into the relevant fields. That's how you build visualization in Power BI. So this is different from the way that we were doing it in Tableau, whereby we were dragging fields either in the columns and in the rows. So here we are dragging variables into different fields. So for instance, maybe you want a bar chart. Simply select a bar chart. Bar chart, for instance, right? So maybe I want to know number of employees by department, right? So when I click on the bar chart in the canvas, so I'll be prompted now to drag variables into these fields. That is the x-axis, y-axis, and also into the legends if I prefer that. So let us take now the department into the x-axis, and then take employee number into the y-axis. So you see now you are having a bar chart. Yes,
Picked?
bar chart. This one. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
So you can have your first chart. Have you retained the marital status on the x-axis? Because like if I replace it with department, my pie chart disappears.
No, this is a different chart. This is a different chart. So the first chart was this for marital status. So we wanted to know the distribution of employees by their marital status. And then here on the second chart, that is the stack bar chart, we want to know the number of employees that are in each department. That's why I chose this, the second one. Yes, Joseph, are you? Yes, but the pie chart is,
Done the
you are breaking, so oh the pie chart has the pie chart has disappeared, eh? So what you, so it means when you're building the second graph or the second chart, your cursor was still in the first chart. That's why, for instance, if now my cursor is still on the pie chart and I go to the visualization 10 and select stacked, you see what's happening, right? So just to make sure your cursor is outside the chart for you to build a new chart, right? Are we together, Joseph? You are okay? Right? So that's how it's done. So make sure, yeah. Yes, Maureen, you've raised your hand. Yes.
How many colors?
Which option did you choose? This one. It should be one color. Yes, which feels. Yes, someone to mute who wasn't muted. There's a lot of noise in the background. So I'll just do a duplicate for your sake. So this is the second option, budget, that I've chosen. So what you do is we want the number of employees by department. So I take department to the x-axis and then employee number to the y-axis. So it's the same bar as this one that we are having. Maybe which fields have you dragged into the x-axis and y-axis, if I may ask?
I selected as the data.
Okay. 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 So let us try build another type of chart. So let me number of employee by business travel. Let me try to do that. So let me now choose the third chart, that is clustered bar chart. Like this. So clustered bar chart. So y-axis, let me choose business travel, and then simply take employee number, right? So majority of employees, you see, they travel rarely, and then followed by those who travel frequently, and then non-travel, right? So let me also take education. So education, let me see if I can do a donut chart for education. For education, and then values I put employee number. So having a donut chart. So a donut chart is just beside the pie chart. Like that. So we can see majority of the guys have a bachelor's degree, accounting for 38.91%, then followed by those who have a master's, and then associate degrees, right? Yes. doesn't have to be that way. I'm just doing this for illustration. Yeah.
Also,
Yes, I'll cover that. So for now, just understand the basics of building the charts, right? So I think we are building the foundation on which we will build upon as we go, right? Yeah. So having now built this type of visualization, I think by now you understand the whole concept of how you can build a certain type of visual. If you want a chart, you want so there are charts. We also have tables. We have pivot tables, but those ones will cover them later, that you can add to your report or your dashboard. Yeah. So, but for now, let's just focus on building the charts, right? So this is what you are having. So you've built these 4 visuals. So let us see now how to now format your visual. I think that is the next thing that you are interested in. So formatting visuals is simply that easy. So on the visualization pane, we have this tab for formatting visuals. So for instance, if I want to change the background of my dashboard or my canvas, I can simply do it from here. So on the format tab, so under canvas setting, it allows me to adjust the size of my canvas, and then canvas background allows me to alter the background of my canvas or of my dashboard. So for instance, if we want to change the background, for instance, we want to change the color of the background, you can easily do that. For instance, maybe let's say you want this color orange. So right now you've seen we've selected the color, but you are not seeing anything that's happening on our canvas. It's simply because the transparency is at 100%. So for you to be able to see now the background color, you have to adjust the transparency. Maybe even reduce it so that you can be able to see the background color. Let's say you want that background color. So when you change the transparency, you can see how it's changing. So when you reduce the transparency, the background color becomes more imminent. So when it's 100, you can't see anything. So simply reduce the transparency to that, for instance, right?
Mine does not have such an option.
So make sure you haven't selected any of the visuals on the canvas. So for instance, make sure your cursor is away from any visual. Then simply go to the visualization pane. Then click on the Format tab. So you should be able to see page information, canvas setting, canvas background, wallpaper, filter pen, filter cards, and so on. So you choose background color. Yes. Hope all of us we are up to that point. Yes. But if you are left behind, kindly don't keep quiet. Say, right? So I've shown you how to change the background color of your dashboard. So more often, maybe if you have maybe your own custom color or you have an image that you have but you want to bring it into your Power BI dashboard, you can simply click on browse image and it will take you to your PC. If you have an image that is saved on your PC, you can select on it, then click on open, and that image will be loaded, right? But we won't do that for now. So you can even decide, maybe if you have a wallpaper, you can decide to the color of your wallpaper, right? So I hope you see what wallpaper means. So it's now blue, 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 right? Or you might decide to browse an image like that. So that's it, how to add the background color, also a wallpaper if you want. Now let's see canvas setting. Canvas setting allows you to adjust the size of the canvas. So the whole of this space is what is called the canvas. There are times when you want to increase the size or reduce the size of your canvas. So you can simply do that from the canvas setting. So by default it is 16:9, but you can customize. You can choose custom. And when you choose custom, you can choose now to increase the height or increase or decrease the width. For instance, this can be 1800. So you see, when I increase the width to 1800, you see the width of my canvas has also increased. So when you reduce it to 1500, you can see also it has reduced. Change the height to maybe 900. You can see the change. 750 and so on. So we are done with the background of your graph, of your of your dashboard or of your canvas. So after doing that, we need also to maybe format now each individual visual. So for instance, we might want to put the title of each of these visuals. We might want to put the title. So for instance, for the first chart or for the first visual, the title should be number of employees by marital status. How can we change the title? How can we do that? So you go simply select on that visual, right? Go to the visualization pane, choose the format your visual tab, right? So format your visual, you go to general. So under general, you'll be able to see various type of things that you can do. For instance, you can change the title, the effects, the header icon, tooltips, and also alt text. So we want to simply edit the title. So this is a number of employees by marital status. Marital status. So as I write in the text field, hope you can see what's happening in the Canva section under this pie chart. So you can see the title is already added. So it was number of employees by marital status. So after you've added a title, you can format that title. For instance, you can change the font type. So this is let's go with Calibri for this time. So we can also bold. We can change the color. Right? We can change the background color again. Right? We can also, that's text color, sorry. Background color. Background color, we can also change. Let's take text color to white. Right? And then after doing that, increasing and decreasing the, hope you're seeing what's happening on the canvas. It's increasing. So let's decrease it to, let's say, 12. To 12. And then you can change the alignment. Maybe you want to center it. You can underline if you wish to. Then another thing about adding color, you can add your own custom colors by clicking on FX. If you want to color it based on a condition, you'll simply click on FX and you'll put your rules here and the color that you want. Right? So that's how to format the title. Hope you've gotten that procedure. So another thing is how to format the effects. So in this, for instance, the first chart, pie chart. So you can see we still have white background on that chart. That is what is referred to as the effect. So on this view, under the format tab, you simply come to format, general, we format the effects. The effects change the color, right? Now you are having your visualization. At least there isn't that white background on that pie chart because we've changed what? We've changed the effects, right? And then apart from changing the effect, you can change the color of the labels. You can change the color of the labels. So how can we be able to do that? You simply select the chart, go to now to data detail labels. So under detail labels, we have a section where we have values. So under values, you can change the font type. Because we had gone with the Calibri, we'll choose Calibri. So we can choose the color. For instance, if we want black, maybe increase the size a bit. Maybe we want a white. Right? White. So we have the option for displaying units for values or labels. So if you want, for instance, your values to appear in thousands, millions, or billions, you see, you come under the display units and you select whichever option you want, right? You can change many things here, even including rotation. Let's say 30 degrees, right? So you can rotate the data labels using using angles. For instance, maybe you want your labels to align at an angle of 30 degrees. So simply put that here, or maybe 45. So you see, when I choose 45, you see what's happening on my pie chart. Hope you can see the change. So when you put 30, see what's happening. 20 again. Can be able to see how it's changing, right? So that's the work of rotation. So let's still explore the option for formatting. So let us now see how to format legends. Hope I'm not leaving anyone behind, kindly. So legends. On legends, position, you can change the position of the legends. So whether you want your legends to align at the top corner or at the top right, you can change that. Whether you want them to be at the center, at the bottom, and so on, you can be able to do that. Let's say top center. So when I choose top center, you can see now the legends position have changed on the pie chart, and you can see now they are on top. When you select maybe bottom left, you can see now they are at the bottom left. Maybe you want them to be at the bottom center. That's how they'll appear. So you can get rid of the title of the legend because we already have a title that shows this is the number of employees by their marital status, right? And also change the text labels. You can change the color to white. Right? So you've seen how we've now formatted the first chart. That is the pie chart that shows the number of employees by their marital status. So the other thing that you can add to this, maybe you might decide to maybe add borders. So we have something called visual borders. Visual border, when you turn it on and select the color of your visual border, maybe white, and maybe you want a border with rounded corners. Yeah, so you can see now on the first chart, we formatted almost everything, and the last thing that we've just done, we've added the visual border with rounded corners, right? Yeah, so that's how to format visuals. So you can do the same for the other visuals that we've built. This and this one. Yeah, so just a quick one. So this one we change the effects. Change the effects first. Change the effects. Also applies to this. General change effects. So the background color of each right? So this is number of employees by department. So this I'll go a bit fast because we've covered how to format. So number of employees by department. by department. So change the font Calibri, this put 12. Then center this color, put white and bold. Background color is that. Right, so we are done with the title. So the axis, editing the axis is simple. So on the x-axis, we edit the x-axis. So this is Calibri. Maybe put white as the font color. We can get rid of the title for now. Right? So y-axis, the same thing. So one thing that you have to know is that you can also change the color of the bus. Y-axis, let me turn off the title, but values, I change the color to white. This is Calibri. Then I increase the font size to that. Then I add the data labels. So data labels adding is simple. So data labels, simply turn them on and edit. Edit the data labels. So simply put it to white data labels, and increase a bit the font size a bit so that they are visible. Right? So let us put the rounded borders. So I go here, look for visual borders, and put it white color. Right? So that's what we are having. So I hope you've seen how we formatted the two charts. So the other two charts I'll leave as an assignment. You go format the other two so that we, I think we'll come and pick from tomorrow from this point. Unless there's any question as of now.
Could you repeat the data?
So the data labels, for instance, you are on your visual, so you must make sure the cursor is on the visual itself, right? After doing that, you go to under visualization pane, you go to the format tab, format your visual, right? Then scroll down. You see this option for data labels?
Yes.
Yes, you make sure it is turned on. Sometimes it is off, so make sure you turn it on.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So the other two charts I've left as an assignment. You format the two charts. I think we'll do more detailed analysis of this data tomorrow. Yeah. So otherwise, is there anyone who has a question? Yes, Celine?
Just a suggestion, friend.
Yes.
I think we just
We'll take, maybe we start early because some of us have very hectic schedules, so extending the class this far affects us, or rather me. So we don't have a problem, but we can start early.
So I have no problem with starting early, but I don't think whether the rest of us will be okay if we can start at exactly 8, because I understand maybe some people, maybe from work, maybe some of them could be held in traffic and so on. So I don't know from their end, but from my end, 8 exactly works for me.
For me, I leave the office at
You see now, 8:30 I think is best for all of us, bearing in mind. Yeah, I think by 10 it's okay, but let's make sure by exactly 8:30 all of us are in class, in that we don't have to wait maybe until 8:40, 8:45. Some of you haven't joined. You see, you'll be dragging the rest behind. I don't know if that is possible for everyone. We be in by exactly 8:30. No, I'll just be communicating. So by around 8:10, 8 sharp, I'll be sending reminders in the group, right? Yeah, for today, let us end it there. Let's meet tomorrow. So you can save your work before you close your Power BI. Yeah, I think we are free to leave. So let's meet tomorrow.